Hey crew, the gameplay really just speaks for itself here. Watch what we do to these two Guardian Knights, a ton of red bar enemies, and a light bearer all at once here in this first clip. It really doesn't get much better than this on the Warlock, and just watch the first 4 minutes of the gameplay and how we just black hole this entire room filled with champions, Hive Guardians, and light bearers. And on top of that, we're solo in this Master Nightfall and 20 power level under the recommended, which is 1600. So I hate to say it, but this Void Warlock build trumps Arc Warlocks so far, for me anyways, and at least in endgame content. So that might play a little bit into it as well, because don't get me wrong, Arc Warlocks are amazing in general content, but I think the Arc Titan is beating it out right now for that end game slot. I mean, have you seen those freaking storm grenades? I decided to go back to Void since Xur sold Controverse holds this weekend, and we did some mod tweaking to make them amazing, and it's also been like 6 months since I've played Controverse Warlock, and man, is it better than ever. And I'm going to answer this question really quickly because I know it's going to be asked a ton, and that is, what makes Controverse better than Nezarec Sin or Nothing Manacles? Well, first off, Controverse actually finally got an ornament and they look much better now. But in all seriousness, it's the free grenade energy we get for literally just getting our grenade in the general area of enemies, since the vortex is so big and it sucks enemies in. What I can compare it to is Heart of Inmost Light on the Titan. You get free energy for not doing much. Whereas with Nezaracs and Nothing Manacles, they require kills. So if you're in a 1v1 with a barrier champion, as you will see in some of the gameplay that I get into, those two exotics don't hold up because there is nothing to kill. There's nothing to proc Abyssal Extractors on the helmet, and then even if I do have 2 scatter grenades, there's nothing refunding that when I'm just one-on-one with a champion. There's still both amazing exotics when you build into them properly, but that's just the downside of them, is you have to get kills with them. Even Controverse holds works better on bosses because they can double proc the grenade regen on a single target enemy twice, which means you get close to a full grenade back as long as you're hitting the target, and that's pretty easy to do given the size of vortex grenades, the pull they provide, and they last like 10 seconds, which is just crazy. Now we're going to add in some mods that will make a big difference, and as you can see, we always have a powerful grenade. We're weakening targets, which is the yellow crit numbers you see. We're full healing with Devour, and on top of that, thanks to some mods, we always have a Rift just in case in our 1v1s, and we get our super extremely fast, and I mean fast. If you do want a one-stop shop to all my builds like you see on screen, then make sure to click that link in the pinned comment and become a member, and thank you so much to those that have already done so. I really appreciate your extra kindness. It really means a lot. And if you're new here and found this video helpful or enjoyable, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and become part of the crew, and let's get into the details of this Void monster of a build. For the Voidwalker supers, use whichever one you like the most. They're all okay. They're not the best supers in the game, so just choose whichever one that you think is the best for your playstyle. Healing Rift, obviously, to keep up that healing just in case we need it. You only have one melee ability on the Void Warlock, which is Pocket Singularity, but it does apply volatile and it is a ranged melee, so that's decent. Especially if you pair it with Collective Obligation, it can be your way of leeching volatile from targets. And then the grenade of choice, of course, is Vortex Grenade, a grenade that creates a vortex that pulls targets inwards and continually damages those trapped inside. And we're going to beef this bad boy up as best as we can. For the two aspects, you want to be running Chaos Accelerant, and for Vortex Grenade, what this does is increases the size and the linger duration of the Vortex Grenade. So it's going to make it really big and make it last a long time on the ground. And then for our second one, we're going with Feed the Void. Defeat a target with a Void ability to activate Devour. While Devour is active, Final Blows restore health and extend Devour. Also, another perk of Devour is Feast on the energy of your defeated foes. Final Blows restore you to full health, grant grenade energy, and extend Devour. So pretty much when you have Devour active, every kill gives you 20% of your grenade back, so only 5 kills you need when you have Devour procced to get a full grenade recharge, just so you guys know. Now for our 3 fragments, we're going to buff everything up as best as we can. First off, we have Echo of Persistence. Void buffs applied to us, which is Devour, have increased duration. This makes Devour last 15 seconds. Now in more difficult content, that's really nice because those 5-6 extra seconds that we have on Devour can make the difference in getting a kill in time to then keep Devour procced and running. The second fragment is Echo of Undermining. Your Void grenades weaken targets. This puts a 15% weaken debuff on everything, so basically they take 15% more damage from us no matter what we're hitting them with. And since our Vortex Grenade is so big and lasts so long, this can tag a bunch of different enemies at the same time. And then lastly, we have Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenade effects, so this is Vortex Grenade for us, have increased duration. So Echo of Remnants combined with our exotic and our aspect Chaos Accelerant lets the Vortex Grenade last like 10 seconds on the ground, which is just crazy. For your stats, you want to get 100 Resilience. That gives you that 40% damage reduction in PvE, which is just awesome. 100 Discipline to keep those grenades up as fast as possible, and then next would be Recovery on this build. Although Recovery really isn't needed as much because as long as you get a kill within that 15-second devour time, you full heal anyways. The weapons really don't matter with this build. It's all about the grenades, right? And just bring something that you need to match with whatever content you're doing, whether that's master content or grandmaster content. Just match the champion types you need, and then maybe the match game shields that you need to match. Now for our mods, again, this is very simple, but it's just such a simple gameplay loop that makes it so good. So the first thing I want to point out is on our gauntlets. Our gauntlets, we're using double bolstering detonation. Now you might only be able to use one of these if you're doing champion content and need a champion type in there, right? But what this does is grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. This can actually proc twice off one vortex grenade, so we can get like half of our rift back just by throwing a grenade and hitting a target, which is pretty crazy. Now to add to that loop, we're getting that class ability back, that rift back very quickly. So what I'm going to do is slot double bomber on the class item, reduce grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So when we use our grenade, we're getting class ability. When we use our class ability, we get grenade. So it's a nice little loop, and it's basically 50%, 40 to 50% ability energy for both of those when you loop it right. Now that's one way to substitute ability energy for the rift and the grenade, and then we also have our exotic Controverse hold. The perk is Chaotic Exchanger. Resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade, so a little extra resistance there. And then charge Void Grenades return grenade energy on hit. And this is important because it's only on hit. We do not require a kill for this to activate, and it can proc multiple times on a single enemy. So let's say you're going up against a barrier champion and you overcharge that grenade and throw it. Well, that grenade is going to last around 10 seconds on that champion. So this Chaotic Exchanger, charge Void Grenades return grenade energy on hit, can actually proc twice, and you'll get close to like 80 to 90% of your grenade back for doing nothing, for just hitting the enemy with the grenade. And I want to get that point across because that means that in endgame content, it doesn't require a kill or it doesn't require anything extra added to it to feed that energy back to you. But then we're going to add some mods on top of it to take it even further. So on the helmet, we're going Ashes to Assets to gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. And as you saw in the gameplay, we're getting a ton of supers with this build. Next, we're going to throw on Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns the elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. And then we're going to combine that with Elemental Charge, become Charges Light by picking up an Elemental Well. So we get 2 times Charges Light when we pick up a Void Well, and we make that Void Well by defeating an enemy with our grenade. And then you guessed it, our third mod is Firepower, and we're stacking this 3 times. While Charged with Light, regain a portion of your grenade energy when you use your grenade, consuming 1 stack of Charges Light. So we're always Charged with Light times 2, and even when you're not Charged with Light, this build still works really well because of the way Chaotic Exchanger works on the Gauntlet. But when you're charged with light, it's just overkill. So when you charge with light and you throw that grenade, you're getting 50% of your grenade back instantly, and you land that grenade and hit something, you're getting another 30 to 35% instantly. So as you can see, you can loop the grenade ability so fast and so frequently, and as you can see in the gameplay, it works really, really well because it has such a big reach, it does good damage, it weakens targets, and you can just constantly get them over and over. So if you're not enjoying Arc Warlock, I urge you to give this build a try, and I hope you guys found this video helpful and enjoyable, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.